Hello, my friends and fellow VEDSies. Welcome to a new day of video every day in September. Me and 6 other people are all making a video every day this month. You can check out links to their channels in the description here. And, one of our fellow VEDSies, James, has been talking a lot this month about things that have been revealed at D23. Namely, like, new movies and stuff of that nature. He talked about the Disney Fortnite tie-in as well. With me, whenever this convention happens, I'm always really eager to hear what news is coming for the Disneyland Resort specifically, which is the Disney parks that are closest to me geographically and the only ones I've really been to. I went to Shanghai Disney once, but that's a whole nother story. Maybe I'll talk about it later this month. But this year, there were so many reveals for all the Disney parks. So many new projects they're talking about. So I'm just going to go from what is supposed to be opening soonest on to some stuff that either has later opening dates or they don't have any plan for that quite yet. We'll see if absolutely everything they've outlined here actually comes to fruition, but it's always cool to see what the plans are for Disneyland's future. And I would say there's probably like 10 years of planning going into some of these things. So as we know, Tiana's Bio Adventure is opening soon. It has a release date. It has an opening date now of November 15th, 2024. It says Tiana's Bio Adventure will debut November 15th, 2024 in a newly reimagined Bayou country, which will also be home to the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh and Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes, as well as the newly reimagined Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. So I didn't actually realize the Hungry Bear was getting a refresh in all of this. I semi-called it back in November. I did some vlogging from Disneyland, and in walking around Critter Country, I said that with no Splash Mountain anymore, it really feels like this area is due for a refresh. My theory at the time was that they would maybe absorb it all into New Orleans Square, make a larger New Orleans Square, because Tiana already has quite a large presence in New Orleans Square, that I thought you could sort of make it this one vision, but I get what they've done here. They're going to keep them as separate lands, and to anybody online who I saw saying, oh no, you can't change the name to a themed land, all this history, blah, blah, blah. Of all the themed lands at Disneyland, this is hardly an untouchable. It's undergone so many changes over the years. In the 60s, it was the Indian Village as part of Frontierland, and we can obviously tell why they don't use that theming anymore. And in the 70s, I think it was, when the Country Bear Jamboree came in, it became Bear Country. And then in 1989, when Splash Mountain came in, it became Critter Country. And so it's only natural that this latest refresh of that ride comes with a refresh of that entire land. So I like that change for sure. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so next year, 2025, the first audio animatronic figure of Walt Disney is being created for a new show, Walt Disney: A Magical Life, in the Main Street Opera House. After its initial run, once it debuts in 2025, the show will alternate with great moments with Mr. Lincoln. I love that. I had heard about this at first, and I was worried about it. I do know that the Lincoln show, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, I know they've at times tried to incorporate the Walt Disney Story into that. I know they replaced that show with the Walt Disney Story for a while. Now I think they call it the Walt Disney Story featuring Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln or something like that, where basically the lobby area has Walt Disney's personal memorabilia and such, and they've obviously kept the iconic Lincoln show. And that's the thing, right? Basically, the rule at Disneyland, the rule at Disneyland seems to be, if it was part of Walt's original vision for the park, if it was conceptualized during his lifetime, people consider it sacrilegious to change it. And that Lincoln show, you can't just get rid of it. So I like what they're doing here. I don't know if compromise is the right word, but giving the new Walt Disney show, which it'll be really cool to see what they do with a actual Walt Disney animatronic. I think that's a great idea. I think it'll be a great show. I'd assume for the better part of a year they'd probably run it on its own, I guess, and then maybe in 2026 I'm totally guessing, but maybe in 2026 we'll see a return of Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. And yeah, alternating back and forth is a decent solution to creating that new show while not frustrating people. Like me, frankly, I wouldn't want to see Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln go away, so I'm glad they are keeping that. Okay, so 2026. In 2026, we will see a new story featuring Mando and his youngling coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at both Hollywood Studios and Disneyland Park, with some help with Epic's Unreal Engine. That's cool. Oh, they're using the Unreal Engine at Disneyland. That's interesting. And this new mission will kickstart once the Mandalorian and Grogu hits theaters in 2026. That's great. That was always the plan for Smuggler's Run. I think they said that every couple of years they were going to add a new story to it. And of course, it's been 6 or 7 years since Galaxy's Edge came in, and it's still only been that one story. These last couple of years, I've noticed queue wait times for that attraction have been a little lower. Obviously, people are less excited about that than Rise of the Resistance, of course. But this will be cool. Hopefully, this isn't the last time they do this. Hopefully, every couple of years, they come up with some sort of refresh for that. It'll never be quite as variable as, I think there's thousands of options for Star Tours. Although I think I've heard reports from people that they're cycling through a far smaller amount of them lately. I might be wrong on that. But it's always fun for a Disney attraction, particularly one that's somewhat screen-based, to at least be able to have new experiences every time you ride the ride. And I'm not saying that's the case here. You still got 2. So I'm not totally sure. Now that I read this, are they just going to switch to the new show? Or are there now going to be 2 options for you? I think it would be really cool if it's a random option, although it might be frustrating. Maybe they'll just run this show for a little while too, because I'd imagine when they release this, everybody who gets in line for that would want to do the new thing. So I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but that's pretty cool. Oh, it says breaking ground in 2026, so they're not going to start construction on this for 2 years. But there's going to be the first ever experience inspired by Coco. And it looks like a boat-based water ride? I don't know. There's some like concept art here. Here, I'm going to do the lowest tech thing because I don't want to edit this. Is this a water ride? Oh, come on. Focus on it. Looks like a water ride. Disneyland already has like what? At the Disneyland Resort, what is there, like 8 to 10 water rides? And build me 8 to 10 more. Like, I'm here for it. They're my favorite. So that's awesome. It looks like a water-based dark ride, but I'm not totally sure. Yeah, it will take guests on a colorful adventure to the land of the dead. I would imagine they're still in the very early stages of planning for that one if it's going to break ground in 2026. I'd imagine they don't have a ton of details about that because they are not sure yet. I'm just looking at this picture. This is not the case, but can you imagine if they show you this and they're like, there's this brand new ride, and then in 2026 they're like, a reskin to Pirates of the Caribbean. I would lose it. But, no, that's not what they're doing here. Yeah, so that'll be a ways away. If they're breaking ground in 2026, that's going to be 2028 or 29. Anytime there's a new dark ride, I'm happy. I love the movie Coco, so I think that's a really cool property to do an attraction based on. But I do believe it's not a reskin of anything else, that's going to be a brand new ride taking up some of the new space I was talking about earlier. Yeah, sorry, it's coming to California Adventure. I just wanted to freak some people out with that. No, it's not going to be anything like that. But yeah, this is going to be part of them building new space at California Adventure just for new stuff like this that doesn't push anything else out of the way, and that's really cool. What else do we got here? Just the big one, I guess. Oh, yeah. This one has no date on it at all, but it says a new Avatar experience will transport guests to a new water destination in Pandora. See, they're going all in with the water rides. I am here for it. I love water rides. I don't know what it is. Like I said, it feels like every themed land in Disney is going to have their own water ride now. Count me in. A new Avatar experience will transport guests to a new water destination in Pandora, inspired by the second movie, Avatar: The Way of Water, as well as third and future films. The ride will be located in Disney California Adventure. Wait, I want one amendment to that. If any of these things... Oh, I just scared myself. If any of these things replace Grizzly River Run, then I'm going to lose it. Grizzly River Run is like the only thing left mostly from the original like 2001 California Adventure. And I'm going to delve a little deeper into... Oh, let me just say, for the Avatar thing, I'm not big on Avatar, the franchise, but I know that Pandora was done really, really well over on the East Coast. And it says a new Avatar experience, so I guess, yeah, based on the new movie, so it's not just going to be a port of the Navi River Run in Florida. It's going to be its own new thing. Again, I don't know much about the source media, so I'm coming in kind of blind with that, but I know they'll do an excellent job. And then finally, again, as we talk about California Adventure, this was the big thing I'm sort of saving for last, that superheroes in training, get ready. Adventures at Avengers Campus is doubling in size with not one but two new attractions. Construction beginning next year. Avengers Infinity Defense prepare for a multi-world adventure to Asgard, Wakanda, New York City, and more. King Thanos has stolen the technology that allows the Avengers to jump between worlds, and you're alongside the superheroes to stop him. So that's the first ride, Avengers Infinity Defense. And the second ride, Stark Flight Lab, will feature Mr. Stark himself. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. will reprise his role, and you'll sit in two-person pods and deploy to a test station where a robotic arm will grab your pod for a simulated flight. Each test flight won't be the same. So that seems to be the popular thing right now, hey? These integrations between your moving vehicle and your screens all around, a la what we saw beautifully with Rise of the Resistance. And then people love that Spider-Man web-slinging adventure. It's never been my favorite, but that sort of idea. I think of rides like, this is a number of years ago, but it's still there, like Transformers over in Universal. And, of course, it seems like every time they build a new ride, that's basically what it is. It's a mix of both technologies. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway being that way as well. But yeah, that's going to be... So the whole Avengers Campus expansion, that is going to... I think I read that's going to take over what is now Hollywoodland. So we will not have Hollywoodland anymore. It's going to close next year for this expansion project. And again, with this and the Pandora thing, and the Coco thing, we don't have release dates for that. Like, I think that some of these projects are going to bleed into the 2030s a little bit. I don't think they're going to get all of this. Maybe they will. I don't know. But, yeah, they've got a lot on their plate, it would seem. And yeah, that goes back to what I said about the Grizzly Peak area. Yeah, over the last 10 years or so, there's been a conscious effort to basically scrub California Adventure of all that it used to be. And it's a good choice, right? California Adventure was not an overwhelming success when it was opened. People wondered why you had a theme park dedicated to California within California itself. And just over time, they've changed everything. I forget what it used to be called, but the Sunshine Plaza you used to come into became Buena Vista Street, which I imagine will stay the same. I imagine you'll still enter the park in the same way and go down Buena Vista Street. There will be no red car trolley. That's closing. That's been confirmed. But you'll still have the Carthay Circle restaurant there, I would imagine, just because that's only about 10 years old and part of the earliest part of this part of the... I think it's 2012 that they redid that, and then shortly thereafter, of course, they created Cars Land, and eventually Paradise Pier became Pixar Pier, and just recently the Pacific Wharf was transformed into San Francisco Square. We lost It's a Bugs Land. Wasn't too heartbroken about that one, but It's a Bugs Land became, what did it become? It became the Avengers Campus, and now Hollywoodland's going to become the rest of that. So again, that Grizzly Peak area is sort of the last holdover from that era. It's kind of crazy. And who knows, maybe that's what's going to become Avatar Land. I hope not. I'm hoping this whole Avatar plan and the Coco ride, I hope those are all kind of happening in the, I believe it's like west of what is currently California Adventure they're thinking of building. That remains to be seen, but obviously it all begins with the launch of Tiana's Bayou Adventure this November. Unfortunately, I do not foresee a reality where I'm going to be able to go to a Disney park in the next couple years, so I'm going to just have to watch the news updates and the on-ride videos to satiate myself for a little bit here. But thanks for watching. I've again rambled for way too long, but yes, I'm excited for all of what they have planned. I mean, the Avengers stuff, I'm not a big Avengers guy myself, so honestly, that's probably the one I'm least excited for out of everything. I'm mostly excited to see the Coco Dark Ride's going to be so cool. And yeah, excited to see what they do with an Avatar Land, because I think they did it so well on the East Coast. Thanks so much for watching. I'll have another video tomorrow and every day, hopefully, for the rest of this month. I'll see you again real soon.